Alright, so we've got the BaxMod models, 1/35th Buffel that just came from South Africa. It took just a little over a week and a half to get here. So it comes in, this kind of cardboard box. Let's open that up. Well, it looks just like a regular shipping box, and let's see what we have for contents. We've got some instructions and parts list. A larger bag of loose parts. Some photo etch. Some decals and glass for the cabin, and then another small package of parts. So let's open these up and look and see what they are like. Just go in the order they're kind of here in this pile. If you want South African subjects, it seems like it's difficult to find stuff. So, when you do a search online, BaxMod seems to be the thing that comes up most and seems to cover the most South African subjects. So, taped to this popsicle stick or tongue depressor is the frame, and you can see the small amount here that's going to need to be cleaned up, but it's there. Again, the photo etch, and so we've got some grill mesh, and I think a seat belt or two maybe. We'll have to see when we go through the instructions. But it looks like the photo etch will come out of there nicely. And then in this package, let's cut this open. So you can see everything's, padded nicely and was, set up to make the journey across from there to here. So we've got the bottom part of the MRAP with some nice, the nice type of detailing you expect. There we go. And the interior portion of the crew component for the Buffel. Then let's look at the decal and glass, which is good because I was thinking about how to get the blue tint that you see in the glass. So I'm glad that a couple of the pieces shipped with it have the correct bluish tint, as you can see there. So the glass and decals come with a thing saying you need to cut them individually, which makes sense. As it's all, small run handmade stuff. But it comes with its own decals, so I think one says Vomit Comet, and the other one says, not sure, probably something in Afrikaans that I can't read it upside down. But they look good. I'll use them. I'm glad. I was thinking I was going to have to custom make some of my own decals, but I'm going to use these kit ones for sure. And then we've got this large bag of a lot of loose parts. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to identify all of them because I'm not super familiar with this armor. I haven't looked at the kit yet, the instructions rather. So let's just kind of do a dump out here. As you can tell, this is the very first time I've opened this, so I'm getting my first look at everything here, same as you guys. All right, we're gonna have to be careful not to lose any of that. All right, so first we've got the driver's compartment. We've got the suspension. Wheels and tires have some nice heft to them. You know, there's molding you can see in what will be the interior aspect of the tire, but it won't show when it's put together, so I'm not too worried about that. There's definitely some from the process where I'm going to need to clean this up on the edges, or else the tire tread will not be uniform. So some of it you can see is really well defined, and then you get to a section like this and it would be nice if that's a little clearer, but I think that's just part of the process. Let's just go through and look at some of the smaller parts here. Alright, so nicely detailed engine and such all in one piece. And I haven't looked at, like say, Unimog or something like that to see how close this is, but from looking at pictures online, that looks really good. You got some drive shaft pieces, construction of the crew compartment. So we've got, you know, the seats look nice. If they're painted up like fabric, they've got a good look to them. Like they'll look really good. The exterior of the crew cabin in the back, those look good. There's some ladders and grab rails, I think, for it. The center headrests. Let's see what else might be small and interesting in here. Steering wheel. More suspension, more crew. Some driveline pieces. The engine. Alright, so I know this is kind of just spread out here on my cutting mat, but I think it gives you the appropriate idea of how things are going to come in this kit. So you can see, you know, where things are really fine, and it looks like it shouldn't be terrible to clean up from its bases. But I'm glad that I have this nano saw set. I think that's going to be helpful in getting some of these smaller and finer pieces out. But yeah, the frame, you know, in comparison to the sharp edges and the squareness I have on some of the other pieces in here, the frame on edge looks great, but I look at it from the top and I can see kind of a little bit of unevenness. You know, obviously with a resin kit and with small runs of things won't be perfectly square. You have to understand that you're going to have to hand fit everything, and so keep that in mind. Let's go ahead now, and you know, I'm double checking here before I bump anything to make sure I don't lose anything or confuse. Maybe some of the flash that's fallen off is a part. But let's look at the instructions. So you get a brief intro of the vehicle, you know, a black and white photo of when completed. The color it just lists as all over dark earth. I think I'm going to do kind of a khaki or khaki color. So you can see you've got some diagrams on how to do the steps. You get, you know, just some real simple printed instructions about what's going to go where. Now in the larger construction, everything's nice and easy to see. It's blown up well. You should be able to correlate the drawing to the pictures. Now, of course, there's no order here, so it's going to be up to you and your skill to make sure that you do things in the correct order. And then finally, the finishing page. Again, you've got some small photos to show you what other people have done. But they're black and white and they are kind of grainy. But you can see here, there's no individual color code callouts. There's nothing about the decaling. So you're going to have to do your own research to decide what colors are appropriate for maybe everything, if you don't want to just really and truly entirely do everything all over dark earth or khaki. So again, it'll be a fun project for a person. If you're like me and you really specifically wanted to do a South African subject, this is what you're going to have to get. I looked all over the place and I couldn't easily find a Casper or a Buffel or anything like that that was going to do. So there you go. If there's the little molding line that I told you could see inside. But as I scan all these other small parts and look at them, you get them cut away from their bases, and they're going to be good little parts. I think it's going to turn into a good kit. I can definitely tell, like with a lot of resin kits, that you're going to need, some wash or some other treatment to get paint, especially acrylics, to adhere to this real well. But I think it's going to be an exciting kit, so I can't wait to get this built up. But anyways, here is just your basic out-of-the-box review of the BaxMod 1/35 Buffel. I'm going to try and maybe build a small little diorama. I'm going to look and see if I can't find some 1/35 small arms to place in the crew compartment that might be appropriate. I don't know if I'll be able to find an R5, but I'll probably be able to find a 1/35 Kalashnikov or a G3 or FNFAL type rifle to put in there. But anyways, there you go. The BaxMod 1/35 Buffel resin kit from South Africa. So if you're interested in it, just looking at it from out of the box, I think it would be a fun build. All right, thanks, and good luck in your building.